I'm more excited about this one. Did you ever notice that we go off topic in the middle of the video?
It is better than the Sabrina in major ways.
Hi, everyone.
That's Adrian.
Yes, that's right. I'm Adrian.
That's
Jay and Philip. We're
and
from
I'm
Audio Excellence Canada. Oh, you know what? I saw a podcast. This guy's great. Patrick Bet David. If any of you guys are looking for information on politics, business, great interviews, go to his channel. Shout out to Patrick Bet David. Wonderful.
Great, the guy he shows the clip of whatever's happening and then he breaks it all down and shows.
I don't know which one you mean, but his channel is called Valuetainment. If you guys aren't watching it or subscribing, seriously, from me to you.
Is he conservative or liberal?
I'm not really sure. I think he certainly leans a little bit more to the right. But regardless, he interviews some really interesting people. Like,
do you ever notice that he particularly watches, videos?
Did you ever notice? Did you ever notice that we go off topic in the middle of the video, but we start off topic? Sometimes
we are off topic.
Like this video just started.
The three of us off topic.
It's just started off topic.
But why did we get to this anyway?
Because we're talking about politics.
No, I wasn't talking about politics. He has a great channel. You guys should watch it. Seriously. For anybody who's interested in learning more about different topics, like, for example, the virus, he interviews doctors. If you're interested in JFK, he interviewed the guy who claims to know what happened and things like that. It's really quite interesting. He's got a great podcast. Anyway, guys, watch it. Patrick Bet David, shout out to you. Hi. So anyway,
and now,
Audio
if you're interested in audio.
If you're interested in audio, that's right.
Then just,
Then you should just fast forward because we don't talk about audio. Anyway, today's topic, let's start with something I'm really excited about, like seriously excited about.
The PS Audio Strata?
That's next. That's also exciting. This video will drop shortly after the embargo of the Sabrina X, which is September 1st. That's the embargo when it ends. There you go. Yeah, Philip is pointing to it. Sabrina X is the replacement of the very successful and popular Sabrina. That speaker, believe it or not, has been out for about 5 years. So let me give you the rundown on it. 18.5 US. It uses the same tweeter as the WAMM, same woofer as the Sasha DAW. By the way, we've got a video that will come live. We'll go live September 1st. By the time you watch this video, we will already have uploaded the unboxing video of the Sabrina X, and we go into all the specifics as well. Outer enclosure is made entirely of X material, same as the XVX. The material is incredibly hard and dense, but it's got self-damping qualities as well. Finish tolerance is 4/1000ths of an inch, just like the XVX. The enclosure is tested with lasers, again, like the XVX. It uses AudioCap X capacitors, which, so Wilson Audio bought RelCap about a year ago approximately, and they've been designing their own capacitors. Was first introduced in the XVX and now in the Sabrina X. Newport design. Anyway, there's all kinds of stuff. If you watch our unboxing video, which we will include in the link in the description below, you can see more details about that.
So Adrian, the caps that they make, I mean, I love rel caps. I've had lots of gear with rel caps in them. It's always something I look for. Is there proprietary technology in the way the caps
I don't know the details. What I do know, as far as I understand, is that first of all, Wilson Audio continues to manufacture rel caps for people in the industry. So that's one. And then secondly, when they brought the production in-house, their design team worked very closely to design and manufacture what they wanted specifically for Wilson's own needs. So that's what I know in terms of what goes into it.
So there essentially is almost no outsourcing from Wilson anymore.
Other than drivers, and of
some
course,
drivers.
Yeah, and of course, whatever materials they need out. But beyond that, virtually everything is designed in-house. So they've got a lot of vertical integration there. Anyway, so that's the Sabrina X. We received the speakers, I think it was August the 22nd, and I was on pins and needles. It arrived. I was here to receive it. The guys didn't know anything about it. And in fact, I wasn't even supposed to tell them very much about it, but I wanted them to be aware in case people started asking us about the Sabrina X. So I gave them some background behind it, and Philip was all excited as well. Anyway, the speakers arrived. I was here in the morning to receive them. They were in the dock area. And then I decided to let's do a shoot on the unboxing. And anyway, you can see the video in the description link below. So today we've now put on, I would say, well, especially at least 40 hours or so of the speakers, maybe more.
40, 50 hours.
Yeah. And so I said, well, let's do a video on our sonic impressions, maybe the first go around, and then as if they change substantially more, we'll do a follow-up video on it. So the two of you guys, who wants to start?
Me.
Okay, Jay goes.
What?
Right. I know Jay has never volunteered.
First?
He's never volunteered.
You're going first, the next one.
Okay.
Because I'm more excited about this one.
All right.
You hated this thing.
Okay, so in the beginning, I didn't quite like it.
Oh, you didn't quite like it. You said it's the worst speaker you ever heard.
No, I didn't say that.
Really?
did.
You said that?
Yeah, he
I
did.
didn't say that.
Okay.
And I said, I tried to remind you, it was the first speaker you really loved, which is the old version. In this version, you said you hated it.
See, it's called humor.
It's called humor.
Yeah.
How about some little hubris?
And sarcasm, you know?
Sarcasm.
Yeah, you're like...
Not sarcasm,
You're like...
sarcasm.
You're like, is this...
S-A-R-C-A-S-M.
You're like, isn't this great? I'm like, no, it's terrible. It's the worst speakers I've heard.
You had this kind of like sunken look. He was
He
so
always has
disappointed.
sunken look. He's,
I have a sunken poker face.
when the wind blows more than 30 kilometers an hour, he falls over.
It's true. That's why he has to drive
This
that
has
big giant
nothing
car of
to-
his.
Like this entire... Like
Let's get to it.
Every audio excellence video starts with a J roast.
That's right. Let's get to it. Go ahead, Jay.
In the beginning, I didn't quite like it because...
Hey, if you say anything I'm going to hurt you. Okay, go ahead.
It was boomy. In the beginning, it was quite boomy. The bass wasn't quite as refined as the Sabrinas. As you know, I love the Sabrinas, and it's like my dream speaker, and you know, I drool over the Sabrinas. So when the Sabrina X came out, I was like, oh my god, this can be great. And then it didn't quite sound right just out of the box. And then after it ran a little bit, yesterday we were quite busy, and so after Jerry left, I closed doors and had a listen. And the impression was like, this is basically... So the bass tightened up, you know, there was breaking in this speaker for sure. And the impression I got was that it's a higher end, it sounds closer to a higher end series in the Wilson line than it was before. There's more refinement. It sounds more, slightly more audiophile to me, just like the upper lines, more revealing of the components used. But overall, it's exactly... did we ever do a video on the Sabrinas?
I don't know.
We didn't know.
No. Okay. So it's everything I like about the Sabrina plus some more.
He doesn't look all that impressed.
No.
He doesn't look convinced at all.
Well, because I love...
Jay, do you have a pulse right now?
No, I don't. No, it's because I love the Sabrina. Like it's like my dream speaker, right? And then the Sabrina X came out. Now I don't see a huge, I don't see a huge difference.
You don't hear a huge difference.
No, I don't hear a huge difference.
I think we're going to take his audiophile card away.
Oh my God.
So
did you pay your dues yet? To the guild?
To the guild?
Yeah, the
What
Audiophile Guild. The Audio
I
Excellence
think we're
Audiophile
going to kick him out.
I'm a music first
Jerry's paid
audiophile. Anyways,
it's a joke. Humor.
I'll get it.
Humor.
You know, your humor is terrible.
So you think it's better, but you're not. I get the sense, honestly, that you're not as convinced.
Yeah. Well, like I said, there's nothing negative about it. It's basically what I love about the Sabrina and some more.
Okay.
Just that this feels like a video about the Sabrina more than the exciting Sabrina X, because when Sabrina X came out, it's not like, to me, I don't hear immense sound difference, obviously.
Well, to be fair, we've been breaking it in using the Hagel was it 390?
390. Mm-hmm.
The 390. Whereas,
we listened to it or that too.
Right. Whereas in the past with the Sabrinas in this particular room, we normally don't have these items here. We normally have the He-Man stuff.
Well, normally they're hooked up to the D'Agostino.
And I think that may be part of why you're expressing.
Perhaps. I think it also has to do with the fact that, my dream speaker just got more expensive, so now I'm sad.
And plus, you're a little bit more jaded now. All the reviews you've done of all those triangle speakers.
Oh my God, yeah, all those wonderful $500 speakers.
The Klipsches and...
Blows these Sabrina X's out of the water.
Elax. Should I go on?
Yes, you should. Go on.
Philip, what do you think?
So just to point out, we first burned it in with Parasound.
I don't know if the camera will catch
it. But trust me, there's a big giant Parasound amplifier, A21 Plus, and so that's where how I first heard it. And yes, Jay was correct. It was a little bit boomy. He kept on saying to me, well, you've got it in that spot. It's really close to the wall. As you can see, it's pretty close to the wall. That is our spot for Wilson speakers. Every Wilson speaker that comes in here goes into that spot. We calculated it for the room. So it is the so-called zone of neutrality right there. And maybe it would have sounded less boomy if we had taken away from the wall. But right off the bat, I said to myself, well, Adrian's going to love that bass response out of that port in the back. It was big. It was really big.
Where's the Biasman?
So it was a little bit boomy, but I knew that it would tighten up. The driver itself had 0 hours on it. But right off the bat, I thought it was the best thing I've heard in this room in a long time. And I'm comparing it to the Sasha DAW, which is my previous favorite. So this is now my new favorite. I say that because I consider it to sound a lot like the DAW. It's like a slightly smaller version, less fussy because there's no time alignment that you have to fiddle around with. You can actually physically almost carry it. So I could take it home, maybe. No, I'm just kidding. But to me, the lineage is clear. In other words, you start with the Sabrina, which Daryl designed, and then you go to the Yvette, you go to, I don't really count the Alexia 2 in the same kind of tonality and presentation. That speaker's a little bit different, but certainly with the Sasha DAW, and then now with the Sabrina X, it's kind of gone full circle. Everything that's been put into the Sasha DAW, from the Chronosonic and the Grand Slam and so forth, it's in this speaker. So this is the distillation of years and years of practical speaker design. And you can hear it from the get-go. The tweeter, for instance, is the same tweeter as the Chronosonic tweeter, from what I understand. And it is ultra smooth, lots of detail, not aggressive though at all. And that's from the very initial moment I heard it with a $4,000 amplifier. So that's the pretty amazing thing. And it just got a little bit better when we put the 390 on there because it has a bit more control and the speaker itself was breaking in. So I didn't hear any anomalies. That boominess more or less was starting to go away and had almost completely disappeared by the time I listened to it intently. And it was just impressive. You sit there and you go like, well, this is real music playing and everything is well knitted together. You don't hear the box at all. It is better than the Sabrina in major ways. And the Sabrina
did you hear the box with the Sabrina?
I didn't hear the box, but what I heard was a dullness with the Sabrina. So when you compared it to the Yvette was always a lot more open and spacious sounding, and it just seemed to have a bigger soundstage. And this is not the issue anymore with the Sabrina X. The Sabrina X has such a stiff cabinet that's well damped at the same time. And as we all know, Wilson cannot eradicate all resonances from the cabinet, but what they do is that they put the resonances in an area that we cannot integrate into the music that we hear. They don't make use of it. They actually put it into a sonic space that has no effect on the music. So this is what you're listening to is really the drivers doing what they have to do and the box doing what it has to do. So you don't hear the box, you don't really hear the drivers. Right away, the image in the center was just beautiful. It was so well defined and had all the textural characteristics that you would expect out of a real voice, out of a real instrument. I couldn't localize it. I would move my head around, and it was still, the center image was spectacular. From a speaker of this price, I've never heard better. And it, in my opinion, is much better than the Sabrina. It just holds together in so many different ways. It's very close, in my opinion, to the DAW. In fact, when I heard this originally, I did reach out to one of my clients to goad him a little bit, because he's interested in the DAW, but he doesn't want to spend the money. I said, well, this could do it, because it is 95% of what the DAW does. I'm not saying it is the DAW, but it's pretty close in terms of the presentation, the impression it leaves upon you, and the kind of joy that you can receive from the music that you love if you play it through these speakers, and not even with super expensive amplifiers. The effect was the same with either the Parasound and a little bit better with the Hagel. I haven't tried it with the D'Agostino's yet. I'm sure that's going to be spectacular.
I did. So I had the opportunity this morning to play different ones, and it just blossoms when you use the D'Agostino's. But even with the Parasound and the Hagel, the sound is just marvelous. I would have to say in this case, I side a lot more with Philip than I do with Jay in terms of my emotional reaction to the sound. I think that without knowing any more, without having to spend any more, I would easily and happily get a pair of these and be done. The roller, what do you call it? The merry-go-round. Yeah, I would hop off at that point. I'm so impressed with the Sabrina X. It's Daryl and his team have just done a marvelous job. It's just, I don't even know what else to say. It's so good, and Philip has elucidated so well in all the strengths that the Sabrina has. If you have a chance to check them out at a local Wilson dealer, check them out. They're so close to the Sashas in so many ways that I would still buy the Sashas if I had the funds, and if I wanted the extended bass and play more powerfully. As the guys joke, I like bass, and I do from time to time. But if I didn't have the funds or didn't want to spend it, and I mean, let's face it, $18,500 is a lot of money. US dollars, that's a lot of money. But if I could, I would definitely buy a pair of those.
Well, think about the improvements they made. And the old speaker was $16,500 US.
Right.
So for $2,000.
Yeah. Plus, the other thing that's really neat is that we've been able to drive them really well with the Hagel, which is, how much is in Canada?
That's $7,500 Canadian dollars.
And I bet you the 190 would probably do a credible job too.
Well, for sure, because the Parasound A21 Plus is only $4,500 Canadian.
Yeah.
And it did a really good job too.
Yeah. So you don't necessarily have to spend a ton of money on the electronics. So if, let's say, the budget was in that kind of range, I think that you'd be very happy with the speakers. I don't know what to say. I think it's
I think
literally that good.
Daryl is truly succeeded his father in a way that pays homage to the legacy of what Wilson Audio is, and he's been able to expand on how we perceive it.
Well, the other thing that's also interesting is that if you look at what Daryl listens to, he listens to more than just primarily classical, which his father, David, used to use primarily. Not the only, but David certainly used a lot of classical music as his reference. And Daryl, in terms of his musical palette, is, I think, perhaps more broad. And that may also account for why successive Wilson speakers have consistently sounded, what's the word I'm looking for? More favorable, more happy with a wider and broader range of music. And certainly from my own standpoint, when I listen to my playlist, it plays all this weird stuff so well. Like, I'll give you an example. So this morning, for whatever reason, I was in the mood for jazz, the classics. So I played Miles Davis, Sketches of Spain, John Coltrane, my favorite things. And I rarely listened to the entire album. I came close. I only stopped because I was running out of time. Joni Mitchell, Both Sides Now. So a quick side story. A couple of clients who are sight impaired came, I guess, about 2 weeks ago, and they both requested music that is not audiophile. And one of the ones that was requested was Joni Mitchell's Both Sides Now, the re-recording 2000. And when we played it, all of us were silent. And then I made the comment towards the end. I said, wow, that song sounds so poignant, because she wrote the song, I guess, back in the 60s, 67 or so. So it's 30 some odd years later. She's an older person. She's a lot more mature. And then the song now, 30 some odd years later, has so much more gravitas, has so much more meaning, and it comes through her new interpretation. And I was just stunned. So this morning I played that again, and it moved me to tears. It was just wonderful. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Teach Your Children. For various reasons, on a personal level, that song now has so much more meaning to me. And I'm playing this thing, and what's that Mike and the Mechanics song? Your father thing.
If you tell me that you listen to Mike and Mechanics, I'm going to make fun of you.
I do. I do. Not a lot, but I do. But the thing is, it's as a father now, and seeing your kids grow up, certain songs have a lot more meaning. All of that is to say that this speaker emotionally has such an impact on me. So I would highly recommend anybody who's in the market, if you get a chance, listen to them. Go out to your Wilson dealer, check them out, and I think you would be just as impressed. Yeah. Any last words before we wrap up?
Yes.
I
don't think it's anything close to the DAW. The DAW moves me in a different way.
Okay.
I'm not saying it is the DAW. I'm saying it has all the same characteristics, just smaller.
Yep. But I still don't think that, I don't think it has all the characteristics. That's the thing.
Well, one thing it'll do, which a DAW does, is that when you listen to music and you find a track that you really like, you want to turn it up. And I believe this is what happens with the Sabrina X. So I kept on wanting to crank it a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that's playing at 95 dB plus, right? No problem. It was
in a way, I think you and Adrian found something that I didn't.
Okay.
Because what I was hoping for was exactly what you were describing. Right? When the Sabrina X came out, I was hoping for something closer to a presentation of the DAW, even though it's only a 2 grand.
You didn't find a tweeter?
No, it was higher resolution. Like I said, it's more detailed, yet still smooth. Everything you said, I agree with. Just that, in my opinion, the DAW, when I listened to it, my first impression was just I think Adrian made a comment of how if the maker has put in what did you say? There was something. I think he said something along the lines of before when he was talking to a client, and I thought that was really. Actually, no, he was talking to you, and he was like, when the maker puts soul into whatever he's making, it does things that.
When the recording artist is recording it, and
right? Yes, that's what you said.
So there's a resonance, okay?
Yes.
That sometimes gets recorded, and then when it's played back, and if you have a specific kind of connection to that, like for instance, you've gone through the same kind of heartache. We've all gone through lost love.
Yeah.
And if you understand that kind of feeling, that feeling will be portrayed, and that's not something that's easily transferred from an audio system to the listener. That's a kind of a special situation, and the speaker does do that more so than the previous speaker. And I know the DAW definitely does that. It's like you're sitting there, you're going like, oh, I get it now. I really get it. And then, you know, the tears start coming out, or you smile, or you laugh, or
so like the DAW is more of that to me.
Yes, it does. It's definitely got more of that soul.
And Sabrina was like that to me too, but I was hoping that was more.
They never did that for me. I always found the Yvette did it more.
I guess that's the difference.
And now this speaker, I think, does it more than the Yvette for me.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
All right, we better wrap up because we've got another video to do. So, as usual, if you like this video, please subscribe, turn on the notification.
We're going to have like a 30-day after, right?
Yes, we'll do a follow-up, I think. Thumbs up if you like the video, because the money that we raise, we match and we donate to the Salvation Army. And so we thank you for your help. And if you have any comments, leave them below. We'll try and get to them as quickly as we can. This is Adrian, Philip, and Jay signing off, Audio Excellence Canada. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.